this week's episode, we talk about the future plans for Sega's Sonic Frontiers.
We get a new look at next year's Super Mario movie in a special Nintendo Direct.
Plus, Pokémon Scarlet and Violet has hit a sales milestone only 3 days after launch. My name is Barry.
And I'm Anthony, and this is episode 76 of the Retro Gaming Dads podcast, the podcast for everything retro and retro-inspired.
So, first up, did you actually manage to play anything this week? I know last week you said, unfortunately, your daughter was ill, so it didn't get any time to yourself.
I have managed to play a bit. I've managed to jump onto Sonic. So I've completed the second island, and I'm now on the third island, and I've started uncovering the map, but I think, is this the smaller island of the ones when you mentioned it before?
No, it's the fourth island.
All right.
That's the one where doing the bare minimum will get you 100% completion.
All right. Yeah, I've not done that much, and it seems to have uncovered quite a bit. But again, I'm still really enjoying it. It's still a fantastic game. And yeah, that's all I've managed to really play this week. Not much at all.
I've still been going through EDF 2025.
Oh, we played that the weekend.
I was going to say we had a couple of games on that.
Yes.
I've been playing that multiplayer with Elliot, and he's been on pick up all the box duties. So as I'm running around just blowing everything up, I'm like, yeah, you go get all the bread in the green boxes for me.
To me,
I stay away from the monsters. You just clear the boxes.
When we jumped back on that game, it took me a few minutes to sort of get used to the way you have to move and flow, especially for the fencer, because it's very slow, but you can move fast depending on the weapons you've got.
Some of the equipment you take, not because you actually want to use it, you just want the secondary function to be able to dash.
You're running around, I'm flying around the map, dashing around, and it's a great way to do it.
Yeah, I'm just rolling around.
You're around, and I'm just like bolted across the map. And so it took me a few minutes to get used to it. Finally got into the groove. I got into actually about to do something. But that's a great game. I think I'll always enjoy that game. How's your percentage going towards completion of that, can I ask?
I'm still about 20%, I think.
It's going to take a while.
It's a nightmare, especially online. Because if you want to play with any difficulty with any weapon, you need to have like completion of 80%.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're limited in what you can take. I just dip in there and do like 1 or 2 stages every now and again. I can't do the last stage, though, on the harder difficulty. It's just I just get wiped out. I end up hiding under a bridge, and a second I pop my head out of that, I just get like vaporized.
Is there anything else you've been playing, or have we been a bit light playing this week, I guess?
No, that's all I've been playing. Animal Crossing.
As always. Do you know what? Saying I've actually been playing Lego Marvel games with my sons. So I got the pack during Black Friday, and when it came with all 3 games, I think it was like a good nearly 80% off. And I've been playing with the Sam and Ash, and they're really enjoying that.
Well, speaking of Black Friday, did you pick up anything else over Black Friday and Cyber Monday?
I picked up a lot.
Anything from our episode last week, the festive buyer's guide?
Because I only recently just got the controls, didn't need any more controllers. And I went through, and for me, there wasn't really much. So, sadly not. I got an 8-bit DOE adapter, a new one, because unfortunately, now I've updated my controllers, they won't work with the one I've got. So I've had to order a new one.
So you got the second generation of it, yeah?
Yes.
That was something that was on our buyer's guide.
Cool. And what about you? Anything else you bought? Have you succumbed to the Black Friday?
Well, as mentioned, I did pick up my Sega Mega Drive controller.
Yes.
So now I've got 2 controllers for me Sega Mega Drive Mini. And again, that was another item that we mentioned last episode.
Yes, you did.
On top of that, let me think, what else have I bought? Oh, it's not come yet, but I have bought Atari 50. The 50th anniversary collection.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about.
So you bought that physical then?
Yeah, bought that on the Switch. I was going to get on the Xbox for achievements, and I thought, I think it's the kind of game I'd like to carry around on the Switch.
And this is an easy one. I think it will play well on the Switch as well. So definitely want to pick up physical.
Other than that, I bought your little Prezi.
What is it?
What do you mean, what is it? You told me what to get.
All right, come on. Could have been like, I'm not telling you.
Although you've got to act surprised when I give you it.
Of course, I'm really excited for this one.
I'm stockpiling AA batteries. Apart from that, no, that's all I got.
I'll get ready towards Christmas. Tell you what,
Yeah.
I am kicking myself though, because kind of all throughout it, I'm like, I fancy a sound bar. But I was putting off. And I missed all the deals, and I was going to buy one. I was like, darn it. So I now have to wait until Boxing Day sales. So Boxing Day.
You'll get something.
That's what I plan to.
I'll be honest, I don't think there was actually all that much in the way of like great offers.
No, I wouldn't say so.
Now, before we continue with the news, should we do our Patreon shoutouts?
Yes, as always, we cannot forget to give a nice little mention to Bobby Socks and Short Gizmo. As we say every week, and we continue to do so, the support is greatly appreciated.
Now, first up, should we get some of the quick news out of the way?
Yeah.
So, Sony have announced that they will be attending CES 2023 in January.
Now, maybe I'm wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a while since Sony has been at Expo sort of thing like this.
They were at CES I think it would have been about 3 years ago. Because they did announce the PlayStation 5.
Yes.
But it was literally just the PS5 logo. Okay. Which was identical to the PS4 logo, just with the 5 instead of 4. That was it. So
given that, do you reckon that this might be their launch for the revised version of the PS5, maybe?
Well, that's what a lot of people are talking about, especially considering we've already had 3 major revisions of the PlayStation 5.
And it's been leaked and spoken about the disc.
Yeah, all these changes are internal, and with each revision, they're getting smaller in size and more energy efficient. So it's obvious there is going to be a PlayStation 5 Slim at some point.
Seeing the Slim is going to be weird because you're used to seeing this big, fat, chunky thing from PlayStation. It's going to go from this big, massive, oversized router to what? I'd be surprised how small it goes.
Do you remember the PlayStation 2? That went from this massive, monolithic sort of console to this little flat, plastic, cheap DVD player looking thing.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for Microsoft to release their Xbox Series X display version.
Yeah, you just want it as a GameCube sort of size, don't you?
That's all I want. I just want a nice little GameCube size Xbox. Honestly, that'd be boss.
Well, on the tweet that they put out, they did say Sony Honda Mobility will join them on stage. So I have a feeling it's just going to be a car that has a PS5 inside it or something like that.
Or is Honda helping them go towards the handheld route again?
No, it'll be a little robot, little Asimo robot that walks around, and it has a PlayStation 5 built into it or something.
PlayStation 5 on the move.
Yeah, you gotta catch him before he falls down the stairs.
The fact that it's Honda Mobility joining on stage is kind of like, well, what could they bring in with them?
It's where you can buy like a Honda car, and it's just a massive OLED inside, and you just play Gran Turismo in it.
No. It's a Honda that looks like a PS5.
But there have been rumours that Sony are looking at putting PS5s as in-car entertainment in some cars.
No fairness, having a console car isn't a bad idea at all. I think I quite like the sound of it.
But when it's something like that, imagine leaving that overnight.
I know. Yeah, but it'll be built into the car, so surely.
Yeah, but it's bad enough when you leave the light on overnight in your car and the battery's flat the next day. Imagine leaving the PlayStation 5 on.
No, when you turn the car off, it'll turn the PlayStation off.
And just wait as soon as people know, whoa, that's a Honda, it's got a PS5 built into that.
Whereas, I don't know, it's rip apart.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine they're going to last long.
I know. I guess we'll wait to see. So, have we got a date for this, sorry?
January the 4th for this particular thing, and CES is at the start of January.
Okay. Well, I'll be watching at some point. I reckon this might be on for us in the middle of the night, so it might be the next day I'll watch it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It'll be first thing in the morning. And don't forget as well, speaking of first thing in the morning, we have also got the Game Awards coming up next week.
Yes, next Friday, the 9th. It is at 2 a.m. for us over in England. So if you're in Greenwich Mean Time, 2 a.m., unless you're a night owl that really want to stay up and watch it, it'll be, again, a morning thing when you wake up.
Yeah, and if there's anything of note, I'm sure we'll mention it in the podcast as well.
Yes. Oh, yeah, definitely will. Now, you found something very interesting, shall I say?
Interesting is a nice way of putting it. I would say completely useless.
I know, I was trying to be nice, but yeah, honestly, what's the point of this?
So, Microsoft are selling a new set of Xbox hoodies
Nice.
for your controller.
Not nice. What's the point of this?
I don't know. Maybe you just want to keep your controller nice and warm during the winter.
Now, if it was kind of like a hoodie hand warmer, so you could actually put your hands and play with the hoodie around your hands, just keep it warm, not too bad. No, it's honestly, you put the grips in the sleeves, zip it up, put a hood over it, and there it is, just all snug.
Yeah. And the hood seems a bit pointless at the top. It's not as if you could fit like your headset in it.
No.
I saw these and I was like, what? Why? Let's face it, Microsoft aren't unknown for bringing some weird stuff to market. We've had everything from Xbox branded beanies to Xbox branded, what are they called? Those snuggies or whatever they are, the big blanket hoodie things.
Oh, yeah.
All the way up to a whole range of fridges at this point. They've brought out 3 different fridges.
Yeah, Bassey. The most notable is the mini fridge, in my opinion.
Yeah, and well, they've done 2 versions of the mini fridge.
No, that's a good point.
However, they have thought, I don't know, let's bring out a $25 hoodie for your controller.
In all fairness, this might be a way to keep your controller warm, so when you come to use it, it feels nice and warm. Not like it ever feels cold, but it's, I don't know. I don't get the point of this at all. It's such a useless.
Neither do I. It's obviously a novelty item.
Do you know what? If you really want to, I'm sure this would fit in a small animal. So stuff put it in your controller.
What small animal has got
a dog or a cat?
Like a tripod or something?
Well, no. The
look how
arms,
small
head.
the waist area is. The actual sleeves
might be really small.
than the
Like a
waist.
chihuahua, some of that would fit in it.
I'm pretty certain that classes as animal cruelty.
Just like your dog at all does, but people already do it.
No, I can't see a genuine reason why anyone would want one of these.
No.
And the thing is, though, they're like a novelty item. You think, oh yeah, I'll get it as a joke gift, and unfortunately, they're not even going to be out for Christmas. These are pre-orders for dispatch in February.
Oh, so what are they announced now for February?
I must admit, I don't even know if they've only just announced this. I just spotted it on the Microsoft website before when I was looking at the jumpers.
Honestly, I don't get it. But there is actually a sweater you could buy, believe it or not. Xbox have decided to release a festive Xbox Game Pass sweater ready for Christmas.
Yeah, but I ain't paying $75 for a jumper.
Nah, $75 is hefty.
I don't think it even looks that good, to be honest. So this jumper, it's basically a snowman, except his head is replaced by an Xbox Dual.
Yeah, big green circle. It says Xbox Game Pass. So it just says Game Pass, not an Xbox on it.
Oh, sorry, it's a Game Pass branded one, not an Xbox.
No, it's a Game Pass
that's
branded.
That's even more niche.
Exactly. So if you don't have Game Pass, don't get it.
Oh, speaking of Game Pass,
go on.
For Christmas, we bought Elliot Hot Wheels Unleashed.
Oh, yeah.
It's coming to Game Pass on the 15th.
Oh, is it?
Of course it is. I bought it, didn't I? Of course it's coming to Game Pass.
Do you know what? After you spoke about it the other day, I thought, do you know what? I actually quite fancy this. Well, I'm glad I didn't purchase it then.
Anyone interested in Hot Wheels Unleashed? There's quite a few games coming in December, but 15th of December, Hot Wheels Unleashed is coming.
But as we always joke about, this always happens to Barry. He always orders.
No, it does. It always happens. I only bought this like a week ago. I think it only arrived this week.
That's when you always order or buy a game, and it always comes in the Game Pass. It's kind of like, if Barry's buying a game, it's like 99% certain it's going to come to Game Pass if it's on the Xbox.
Yeah. Within like a couple of weeks.
Just to spite him. So this sweater, just quickly, does set you back, like Barry's, did you say $75?
$75 for a Christmas jumper.
Yeah, which isn't that great looking at all. However,
yeah.
Microsoft has promised that this sweater has a soft feel and is not itchy. So if you don't want an itchy
See,
sweater,
what's the point of wearing a really bad-looking Christmas jumper if it's also not going to bring you out in a rash?
give
What's
you
the point?
hives.
What's the point? Yeah.
That's kind of like
No,
part of Christmas.
in all fairness, if you're doing a bad Christmas jumper competition, you got a good chance of winning it with this.
They look at X going, ha, nerd. Honestly, people at work sometimes don't get this.
Yeah. But as always, if anyone wants to have a look at these, we'll have them in the show notes, both this and the Xbox controller hoodie.
Yes, and if you fancy getting it, what is wrong with you? All right, come on. You can't help yourself. Every single week, this is always something that rolls around.
It quite literally rolls around at the speed of sound. So, Sonic Frontiers is actually getting an update, which for Series S users is quite a good update because it adds a new performance mode that lets it run at a higher frame rate.
I see this being pretty good, but I didn't realize that was missing. I didn't realize that was a feature that we didn't get.
Yeah, it was. Well, if you played it on the Xbox Series X, you
Yes.
could choose between higher quality graphics or a higher frame rate. However, on the Xbox Series S, that option was just missing. You just had this one option. 1080p, 30 frames per second. So the new update, it fixes a couple of other issues, but the main one for Xbox Series S users is it allows you to now run the game in a higher frame rate.
I've got a question. Have they fixed the pop-in?
Nope.
That's it.
That ain't going to get fixed, unfortunately.
Again, I was playing the other day and I was sprinting around, going through all these different dashes and then all of a sudden, as I'm sprinting forwards, a box pops in front of me, just stops me dead. I was like, that's it.
No, unfortunately, I don't think that'll ever get fixed.
Oh, darn it. It's still a fantastic game, though. But not only that, though, have they announced a roadmap as well?
They have. You're getting ahead of us.
Oh, sorry.
That was the next piece of news.
Okay, roll back.
So, Sega have announced the Sonic Frontiers 2023 content roadmap, which is showing what updates will be coming to the title over the next year.
Yes.
Now, the first update, it seems more quality of life improvements. So the first one is a jukebox. I don't know if this is going to be an item in the overworld that you can go and interact with, or just something in the menu where maybe it's like a sound select. But let's face it, everyone wants this. This game has got absolutely amazing music. A little bit emo, but really good.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It really gets you into it when it comes to the fights. It gets you pumped up, and that's you want a Sonic game.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, I felt like I could go out and fight anyone after listening to that boss music.
Oh, honestly, it really, really gets me in the mood. When that music starts coming, you're like, yeah, it's time to go kick some ass.
I'm really glad as well, just going off topic slightly, I'm really glad that I experienced that completely fresh, that I didn't know that the first boss you fight, you go to fight it in that way, and that music kicks in, and I was like, wow. My only regret is that I can't re-experience that again.
Or what, you can't come to the wonder and awe of like, oh my days.
Yeah. I need one of those little Men in Black. Or is it like the neuralizer or something?
Yes. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so I can wipe my brain from like the last month, so I can re-experience the bosses again on Sonic Frontiers. But as well as the jukebox, they are also introducing a photo mode.
Just what we needed.
Yeah, as you like going along at like hundreds of miles an hour, and then suddenly go, I know, I'll take a picture.
Yeah, that's true. Actually. I was about to say, kind of like, just taking a photo on the Xbox, but doesn't do the same, because in photo mode you better pause it, move it, take the photo you want, and crack on. Now,
well, that's if the game does pause. Some games do, some games don't.
What do you mean some games pause? This game pauses.
No,
do
when
you mean
you
for
take
photo
a photo
mode?
Not every game that has photo mode, the game pauses.
Yeah, it's true.
GTA 5, for example, doesn't pause.
Surely this must do. I'll be surprised if it didn't pause. We've got some new challenge modes coming in as well. Now, I'm guessing the new challenge modes will be maybe different cyberspaces or different challenges.
Possibly. The image they show for this slide actually has a couple of little slivers of cyberspace stages, but I did notice it's also got Supersonic as well.
Yes, I saw that too.
So I don't know if they'll all be cyberspace challenges or they might be distributed between there and the actual overworld. Perhaps one of the challenges might actually be a boss rush where you have to see how fast you can defeat all the bosses or something similar.
Do you know what? That would actually be really cool if they did add that in. Alongside that, maybe something like just a general arena fighter where enemies spawn in, you have to take them out as quick as possible and beat the time or something like that. I think those sort of challenges would be pretty fun as well.
Yeah, I like an arena because the diversity in all the different bosses, that'd be a good one where you've got to remember all different tactics, use different skills. Maybe you only get a set number of rings. You can't replenish them or could only replenish them every like 5th enemy or something.
Well, I wouldn't be doing that. I wouldn't do well if that was the case.
It's Sonic. As long as you've got one ring, you're safe. Unless you're Super Sonic, in which case you're about to die.
That's true. The amount of times I've been knocked out with one ring, pick up the one ring, keep going, pick up the one ring again. I'm like, I ain't going down without a fight.
Yeah, anyone who's done that silver battle in Sonic 06 will remember how that's not always a good thing, though. So moving on to Update 2. First of all, we've got one that's just titled Sonic's Birthday.
I'm guessing that will come out at Sonic's birthday.
Yeah, so I assume it's going to come around June the 23rd for his birthday. Maybe it's just they put up some party banners because you can see a little bit of bunting in the picture on the background. Maybe it's just more of a cosmetic thing. I don't know. There's not really much information about it.
Do you reckon... So just before we move on, just seeing this roadmap, do you reckon they will be sort of looking at using this game as a base platform to expand on quite a lot over the next few years?
No, I don't think this will become a live service. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, kind of like that.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, that's fine. I was just wondering, just because of how this roadmap's looking.
They've quite regularly introduced new content into games, and if you look at a lot of the content's very minor in the greater scheme of things. It's perhaps some stuff that you would kind of think should have been in the base game to begin with, like jukebox.
Yeah, no, I get it.
However, more content, I'm not really going to complain.
No, not at all. Especially with the open zone challenges coming in. So, again, more challenges. I'm guessing it's going to be in the free world where there would just be different things you can jump in and do, I guess. It's kind of not much to go on, but kind of gives you an idea of you will run around, have a challenge you have to do and complete whilst you go around the free world maps.
Yeah, it's like Challenge Annika, but at like 600 miles an hour.
Yeah. Be fun.
And the last bit for update 2, new Cocos.
Oh dear.
I don't need to collect any more Cocos, and there's an inexhaustible supply of them in the main game. So I'm guessing this might mean maybe new cosmetic variants of them. So I don't think it'll be anything that impacts gameplay.
No idea. It's very generic. So it really doesn't give anything to go on.
Yeah, it's where they release it and it's just the same Cocos that you've seen, but they have like little fake mustaches and glasses on.
Like a disguised.
It's like completely different.
It's got a touch.
Now, the exciting one is update 3. Now, unfortunately, I'm assuming this is going to be well into the third quarter of next year.
Oh, definitely. Definitely will be.
Playable characters and new story.
Yes. Now, this is really cool because it looks like the playable characters will be your compadres. It'll be Tails, Knuckles, and Amy. I'm quite looking forward to this. To be able to go around as them because obviously their play styles and everything will be quite a bit different. So I'm interested to see how that will affect the gameplay as you go around the open world and that.
See, initially that's what I thought. However, the pictures of Tails, Knuckles, and Amy are all the cyberspace limbo versions of them.
Yeah.
And it's actually a picture of Sage that's the main image.
Oh, so you reckon she would be the playable character?
I don't know.
How would she play? That's interesting.
I have no idea.
That's an interesting thought.
Could play a bit like Mario Odyssey where you can take over different enemies.
That's an interesting one.
I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there.
Speculation.
They could go the safe route and just give you Tails, Knuckles, and Amy, though.
Yeah. Interesting, Barry. We put a bit of a spin in it.
And for anyone who's getting the game for over Christmas, from the 21st of December, you'll be able to kit Sonic out in his own little festive jacket and festive hat.
Ho, ho, ho. Santa Sonic.
Looks very dashing.
Yeah, he
especially
does.
with his red boots.
I was about to say, he just needs his little sleigh now. Now, before we continue, we need your help to leave us a review, please, on your favourite podcasting app.
Alternatively, if you're able, you can join our Patreon for as little as £1 per month, where you'll receive an ad-free version of the podcast and get a shout out in our next episode.
Back to the show.
Moving on from Sonic, shall we go on and talk about his long-standing rival?
Yes. Super Mario, as we alluded to at the very start, we've got a new trailer.
Yeah, the first one was a bit of a trailer, and it's shown like a couple of minutes segment from the movie, and then what I would say a teaser stuck on the end of it.
Yes. No, I completely agree with that. What are your thoughts, quickly? Just a bit of an overview.
I thought it looked quite good. I don't think Mario's voice is going to get in the way. I don't think it's good. No, that sounds a bit harsh. I don't think it's great, but I think it's acceptable.
Okay. Because, again, I agree with you. It looks great. It's just the voice which is kind of puts me off a bit. And I've seen quite a few people's sort of reactions to it. Not seen, I read some of them. And some of them are saying that the voice, unfortunately, does kind of hold the movie back a bit because it's not the true Mario sense that you would expect.
No, I don't think it holds the movie back, or it will hold the movie back at all.
I did appreciate at the very end, though, he did his little Mario.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
One thing I will say I might have a little bit of a concern about, I feel like they're trying to cram in too many references to too many Mario games.
Yes.
In this short trailer, I saw a reference to the Donkey Kong game, where he's fighting on like the girder. That also gave me Smash Brothers vibes as well.
Yes. Oh, yeah, definitely did.
Obviously, they've got Donkey Kong and some of the other related characters in it as well. Then I saw later on they had the Mario Kart cameo as well, where they're going along Rainbow Road.
There's a lot of vehicles in that as well, I thought.
Yeah, there is. There seems to be a lot of characters.
Surprised I've had a lot of these, but like you said, there's a lot of things to add.
Yeah, I just don't want them overstretching themselves too much. It's nice that we've seen a couple of power-ups. Oddly enough, I've not seen the most common and iconic Mario power-up, the Super Mushroom.
Yeah, like
we did see Princess Peach with a fire flower.
Yes.
And we did see Mario in the Tanuki suit.
Yes, we did. I quite liked Princess Peach was a bit badass at one point. She's walking down, picks up weapon, just kind of spins around. So she's ready to go out and go to battle. And then Toad pulls out his little saucepan and just sort of flicks it around as well.
Yeah. Well, oddly enough, in a lot of games, Princess Peach has used a pan as one of her weapons.
I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see a bit more of a trailer to kind of give me a bit more of a feel for it. But I think I will end up watching this definitely with the kids.
Yeah, I think I'll end up watching it. I don't know if I really want to know more about the story, to be honest. I think I've got enough from these two trailers. Bowser's after the star's the magical MacGuffin, and there's alternate dimensions or worlds, or I don't know what they were called. And I'm assuming like Donkey Kong's one, the Mushroom Kingdom's another one, and so on. I don't think I need to know any more about this movie to be.
So do you reckon you're going to sort of like skip any more trailers needed and just wait to the movie?
Well, I'll try, but you know my luck with trying to not get things spoiled.
Oh yeah,
it is looking good. It's still a little bit distracting that it feels like it's Wreck-It Ralph in cosplay a lot of the time.
Do you mean Fix-It-Feely Jr.?
No, Wreck-It Ralph, the movie.
Oh, okay, you think it, sorry, I thought you meant as in just Mario, because look at it, Mario.
I think it just looks like a Wreck-It Ralph character from the movie Wreck-It Ralph.
Got you. In all fairness, say that, I think the CGI and the animation is very well done.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. It's a very nice looking movie.
Oh, it is. And I'm impressed by that. They've definitely done the movie justice in that way, which I do like.
Yeah, one thing I was a bit surprised about as well, that Mario seems very inept.
As in useless and clueless.
I'm sure like the parts that shows you where he's like falling off platforms, he can't make jumps. You know the thing he's known for.
Yes.
I'm sure that's part of like a training montage or something.
Yeah, I'm interested to sort of know the direction it's going. I just hope they do the movie justice.
I'm sure they will. Don't forget, this is Illumination. Worst case, we'll get a good animated movie. I don't think we're getting a bad one.
Okay, well, that's good. However, when you say Illumination, all I can think of now is just the minions just going, Illumination!
Illumination! Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. Minions are one of the best things ever.
I don't know. I think this movie's trying to push the Toads as the next minion.
Nah,
I saw the scene where he goes, come on, we're going to war or something. And they go, we can't, just look at us. We're too adorable.
Bowser is coming. Together, we are going to stop that monster.
How? Look at us. We're adorable.
Yeah, no, I saw that and I did enjoy it, but I don't think they'll really be able to top the Minions.
I don't know. To be honest, Minions were funny when the first Despicable Me came out, and then I just got sick of them.
I can never get sick of them.
Just everywhere.
Okay,
what's with some of them having one eye and some having two?
I don't know.
Makes no sense. Speaking of creatures that make no sense, should we move on to Pokemon?
You've just stole the one. What I was going to say. Yes, let's move on to Pokemon. Talk about creatures that just, kind of disturb you, though. Flip at that picture, man. What picture is that you chose for this?
Yeah, so it seems that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet might have one or two bugs.
Honestly, it's rocky start.
Yeah, anywhere from people's limbs stretching to eyes coming out the sockets to Pokemon coming out of places they shouldn't be coming out of to, I don't know, just falling through the planet.
No, the list is honestly endless. The amount of bugs this game has, but not just bugs, glitches, you name it, it's got it. And I am upset about how much it's come out with and how wrong it is. But despite that, it's managed to hit a milestone and sell 10 million copies within 3 days.
Yep, this is the fastest selling Pokemon game.
But I don't think people were really aware of no one knew about all the bugs and glitches until they played it. So that's the issue.
I think a lot of people are aware about them now. It seems to be everywhere.
100%.
I saw this on the Metro, which is a newspaper that you tend to find lying on a random seat on a train in the UK. And it was flicking through there, and it was like half a page about all the bugs.
All right, if it gets onto a free newspaper, obviously making headlines, isn't it?
Yeah, this is a daily newspaper for commuters, probably as broad as you could possibly get. But Nintendo have actually been giving refunds out to users, actually, because they're so unhappy with the quality of the game.
Yeah, it's so cyberpunk all over again. And
yeah, it is. And Nintendo don't give refunds.
No, they don't. And I'm actually quite disappointed. And it's kind of put Nintendo in a bad light for me. And it's kind of, how I said about the spark of Pokemon has gone a bit for me recently in that sort of year.
Oh,
or two.
Yeah. Mine went after Gold and Silver.
I know, but just how bad this game's launched and everything else has kind of put a bit more of a hesitation on picking this up.
I would like to point out that it's not Nintendo who developed.
No, I know it's Nintendo has developed it, but obviously it's on just their console and everything else. So to me, I know it's not Nintendo who's developed it, but their name's on it.
Yeah,
and so
they're the ones who are associated with the game.
Exactly.
If you asked, I don't know, if I went and asked Kerry, who makes Pokemon, she'd probably guess Nintendo. She wouldn't go, Game Freak.
Exactly. And that's what I'm referring to is kind of Game Freak. Shocking. What have you done? But Nintendo, to me, I think they should have maybe invested and looked into a bit more before this got released.
I feel like Game Freak have always had issues bringing the Pokemon franchise into like a more modern sort of environment. I don't mean like the world in which you explore. I mean first of all, putting it into 3D on the DS. It was essentially playing as if it was the 2D game, just with 3D buildings.
Yes.
And even since Sword and Shield, I just don't think they have the technical expertise to pull it off.
So are we saying that might be a time to sort of review or revamp their game design team? Or something like maybe get a fresh set of eyes in that might give a different view?
I think they need to get help from another studio, to be honest.
Yes. Maybe get the studio from Zelda to help out, because obviously they have a fantastic history of these sorts of games.
Yeah, once they're finished with Tears of the King, is it?
Yes.
Maybe get some guys off that to go and give Game Freak a hand. Make sure the next Pokemon game launches on a strong foundation.
It just disheartens me, and they put the fix in. Yes, fair enough, I get it, but they shouldn't have been in the first place. You expect a few, but not to the extent that this is either.
Some of these glitches I've seen, there's a way you can duplicate your main Pokemon. If you come across a shiny Pokemon and you capture it and then head to the nearest town, save, quit, and come back, that Pokemon's still there. So you can recatch it again and again and again and again.
Oh, so it's not random.
So that's already ruining shiny hunting, isn't it?
Yes.
There's a way to duplicate Pokemon, and any item that they're holding, you'll also duplicate that item as well.
Yeah.
So already there's so many exploits in the game.
Yeah, it just makes me sad. It's Pokemon. You know, Pokemon for me it has been a massive fondness. I've recently watched the latest series and I've finished all that, but the games, however, have not kind of lived up to expectations, I feel, recently. Especially with the issues that this has had. Obviously, it's nothing anywhere near compared to Cyberpunk, but you'd have thought with the history that they've had with all the Pokemon games and everything else, they wouldn't have quite as many as this.
I would have rather them delayed this for another 3 months.
Even
I'm not
half
being
a
funny.
year.
We've already had 2 other Pokemon games within the last 12 months. We got Arceus at the beginning of the year in January, and last November or December we got
Diamond and Pearl remakes.
The Pearl and Diamond remakes. I think they're just coming out far too quick now.
Oh, so do I. I remember when games used to come out every other year. Pokemon seems to be every year now, and I don't get it. It give me 2 years. I don't want it too often, because also they're pumping up too many too fast. Like I said, they've not got the time to focus on them, and also you've not got time to enjoy the previous game as much, I don't think, because you're trying to rush it to finish off this previous one. So Arceus, ready for this to come out.
I don't know if it was the case. I'm fairly certain away. I'm thinking about it. But when you were a child, you felt like you had the game for years until you got the sequel to it, or just another game in general to replace it.
Oh, 100%.
In all fairness, I think there was a few years when I only had 2 games on the Mega Drive, though.
I'm sure there was a few years when it only had 1 game on the Game Boy Color, which is Pokemon Blue. Which?
In all fairness, I just got my Game Boy just for Pokemon.
I found out something the other day, and I told you.
Oh, yeah, devastating news.
Really, really devastating. So, when I left home, I left my Game Boy Color, my Game Boy Advance, my SP, I had blue, yellow, silver, crystal. You know, I had about sort of, I say, I don't know, 10 Pokemon games as well. I fancied getting them back from my parents' house, and I messaged my dad the other day, and I said, "Oh, have you still got them? Do you know where they are?" He goes, "Oh no, we gave them away." I was like, "What do you mean gave them away?" They're like, "Yeah, we thought you took yours. We've given them away." I was like, "Are you joking?" And it was like, "Yeah, no, sorry." And that was it. There was no, "Oh, we could try and get back, or we could try and get the other ones," or anything.
How do you go get them back?
I know they know where they are. So I'm like, okay, well, I want to go get them back, but at the same time, you feel a bit guilty. Go around and say, "You know that thing your parents gave to you? Yes, mine, give it back." Honestly, it's hurt me.
That's how I felt when my parents give away my Amiga. Well, on that devastating news, I think it's time for us to wrap up as we start getting ready for some of our special episodes coming up.
Yes.
Now, coming up between now and Christmas, we do have our Christmas retro game episode where we talk about our Christmas pick.
Yes, we do.
We also have our retro gaming quiz, which we're actually managing to drag Phil into this year as well.
Yes, we have. So we thought we'll give a shout out to Phil, drop a line, and he said that he'll come and join in, which we're excited about.
As long as you don't start putting loads of questions about Spyro again. And finally, at the end of the year, we're going to have our retro recap of 2022.
Yeah.
Everything that we loved and everything we hated from the year that's just passed. I'm Barry, and this is the end of the episode. If you'd like to find out more about anything mentioned, then please visit the show notes. We've been the Retro Gaming Dads, and we'll see you next time.